we would have done that, it probably would have saved us. It would have cut down at least 6 to 9 months on the timeline, as well as the money that we had to sink into the project.
Hey real estate investors, it's Malvin and welcome to Market Insights and Real Estate Solutions. Today I have a special guest, Lisa Friesen. She's a real estate investor. Her first project started back in 2006, so she's been doing a lot of projects as her side business. And today Lisa will share with us her experience on home renovating and how you can improve the value of a property. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you, Malvin. It's nice to be here.
Nice to have you as well.
Thank you.
My first question for today is, as an investor, you probably have come across a lot of investment types. So could you share with us your personal experience on one well-planned projects that the renovation adds significant value to the home, and what specifically you did attribute to that increase in property value?
Sure, great. Good question. So I have two recent renovations that I did. One was the plan was to keep it as a rental. The other was to put it on the market and to sell it. And so for the rental property, we purchased the property for about $134,000. We put $60,000 into the renovation, and that increased the value at the assessment to $223,000. So the rent went for about $1,200 to the maximum to $1,600. So we were able to get the maximum rent that the area would bear, and so that was a pretty good increase in value there, as well as the increase in equity that we were able to pull out of it. The other property was a rehab that we held for 3 years, and so the exit strategy for that one was to put it back on the market and sell. We bought the property at $560,000 and were able to sell the property later, 3 years later, at $910,000. Yeah, so there was a huge increase in the equity that accumulated, as well as the value that we were able to add. However, the renovation cost for that one was about $250,000. But we were able to get $350,000 in equity back out of it. So
that's just wonderful. Is it the house you sold a few months ago in La Mirada?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember seeing that property. It's very beautiful, well done project.
Thank you so much.
So when you do home renovation, I'm sure the time constraint is important. And especially if it is an investment property and you're on a hard money loan, you have to deal with the interest rate very high. What strategies do you have to make sure that the project goes on in a timely manner?
Yeah, that's a really good one, because keeping a contractor on schedule and on task can be extremely challenging. I found it extremely helpful to start my talks with the contractor and just asking them what they think they're able to do in what period of time. So I have an idea of how busy they are, if they're going to be able to finish the project in a reasonable amount of time that would fit my schedule. From there is I have incentives that I include in my service contract with the contractor. And so if they say they can finish the project in anywhere from, let's say, 3 to 6 months, I will then put in the contract, if they do finish it by 6 months, I will include a bonus at that point in time that they can receive. And that seems to help to motivate them and keep them on track, as well as communicating. Most of my projects I've had to communicate weekly, if not daily, on certain ones. And so making sure that you stay in constant communication and don't feel like you are being a bug. This is your project and it's your money, and they're working for you, and so you want to make sure that you're moving things along in a timely fashion.
Yeah, I think I learned something new about the bonus. Absolutely, if you have some incentive, they are more incentivized to get the projects done on a timely manner. And in the other hand, it will save you money if you get it done at the right timing.
Yeah.
So What about budgets? I know, like for me, when I go into a home, I want to renovate everything. Like, and I know not everything really brings a good return on investment. How do you prioritize which projects you want to spend money on?
Sure. Well, it depends on looking at the age of the house that we're going to be renovating, because that is going to contribute greatly to whether the electric panel or the plumbing needs to be redone. However, that being said, is the most bang for your buck is going to always be the kitchen and bath. And so a lot of people want to spend time creating a master retreat. That's nice, but you're not going to get as much money return on that.
That is good to know. So kitchen and bathroom are where the money should go to the most.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. And I know the trend changes very fast. Like every year, maybe every few months, there would be a new trends. What are the trends? What are the designs would you recommend to our audience today for the renovation? Should they have an investment tomorrow?
Sure. Well, staying on top of trend, I think, is pretty important. I had a group of investors who were looking at some properties, and this was out of state, and they were being renovated as we were viewing the properties, and the design style was from the early 1990s, and so that was kind of a turnoff for some of the people who were looking at holding them, because then by the time that they would have their exit strategy, maybe 5 years, they would be extremely out of date. And so looking at what's fresh, but staying with something classic, looking at the overall neighborhood, what the neighborhood looks like, is really good to kind of help you not be obtrusive, but stay with something fresh. And then something simple and something classic. Neutral, warm, or clean tones are best for attracting renters and for resale value as well.
That is a great idea. I know my mom likes the wallpapers, but I think it might not be the best idea to put it in an investment property.
Right.
It's for her private residence, that's perfectly fine. But when you're an investor, you probably want to have something still up to date, still trendy, at least like a few years ahead, so it's give you better value for your property. And I'm sure you have gone through unexpected challenges with your projects as well. Could you share with us some of the situation when you went through something totally unexpected, and what did you do to overcome that?
Sure. Yeah, I have a really good example. Our La Mirada house that we were doing a renovation, we wanted to vault the ceilings and to open up the space, and we were really excited about that. And so we hired a architect before we hired the general contractor. And so what happened was, once we got into the project, we realized that we needed to pour more footings, and that expense was extremely costly.
Wow.
Our contractor recommended next time that we should go with the contractor first, because they have architects and have good communication even with engineers, that they could work those things out beforehand. And so if we would have done that, it probably would have saved us, well, this project took us a long time. It would have cut down at least 6 to 9 months on the timeline, as well as the money that we had to sink into the project. So it could have been a lot more profitable for us if we had gone where we were trying to penny pinch and save money. Just going with the general contractor first would have really been beneficial.
I think that's a good lesson. It's unfortunate that you had to go through that, but now we all can learn from that mistakes and can avoid that in the future. So thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right.
You're welcome.
All right, I think we had a good session today. We learned quite a bit about home renovation. And of course, if you have more questions or if you want to suggest more ideas for future topics, please feel free to comment below. And if you feel this video has been helpful to you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for hanging out, and we look forward to see you at the next video.